Hi, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the Ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be doing the daily reading for Saturday, December 26, 2020. And today is a day that's ruled by the heart chakra and guided by flowering. And on these heart chakra days, we are invited to use the rainbow meditation. And so the rainbow meditation is simply where we bring that rainbow light down through our crown, down through our chakra system, and expand that light out through the layers of our aura and out into the planets. It's a great way to really get connected with all of that beautiful rainbow light, that unconditional love, that Christ consciousness energy that we are really feeling right now as we have this beautiful conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter going on, really pulsing that energy out into the cosmos and out into the world. We're all experiencing a deeper heart awakening on some level. And so it can be really nice to play with this energy today and to really tap into that and tap into that universal connection and that universal language, which is the language of love. The yellow crystal human is the galactic signature of today. And the yellow human energy is all about influencing free will and wisdom. And it seems kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? When something is contradictory, right? When we have this free will and influence as the themes. And so the understanding of that is that we come here as humans, and one of the greatest gifts we have is our own free will. It is through our free will that we choose the experiences that we want to have, and we have complete autonomy over our experience and over our journey as we are here. However, as we choose these experiences with our free will, we gain a certain amount of wisdom. And then the idea is that we share that wisdom with the collective, right? Because the collective understanding, the collective vision, the collective experience also influences our experience. And it does influence our free will. We are conditioned. We have certain ways of doing things. We have certain societal and cultural norms, right? That are a collection of the shared wisdom and experience of the whole. And so as we have our own experiences, we can then add to the collective wisdom by sharing those experiences and helping to sometimes influence the free will of others. They still have their complete autonomy and right to choose, but by sharing our wisdom and experience, we can help to guide them along a path, which helps to guide the entire collective along a certain path as we all share this wisdom and experience and we make new free will choices. And the energy, the planetary energy today, or the tone, is the crystal tone, which is all about it's all about dedication, universalizing, and cooperation. So very much that cooperative energy, that energy of us all coming together to share our vision, to share our wisdom, to share the culmination of all of our free will experiences, and together choose through our own free will a direction that we want to move in as a collective. The affirmation for today is, I dedicate in order to influence, universalizing wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of flowering. And so it's that flowering energy. It's all about opening up, right? Imagine the flower as it opens itself up to the sun. And it's that act of becoming is the act of flowering, right? So really stepping into that act of becoming today, that allowing ourselves to flower, allowing our petals to stretch toward the sun, figuratively speaking. And so the astrology today, we still have the moon in Taurus. Later this evening, somewhere around like 8 o'clock, I think in the Eastern Hemisphere, the moon will be shifting into Gemini. But it is currently in the sign of Taurus. So we still have that comfort, that security, that stability. This is a day where we're really enjoying the pleasures of being human. We're really in that sense of emotional indulgence per se, and really just wanting to sink into that comfort, to sink into that warmth and that stability and that stillness and that peace. So it's a good energy emotionally. It can, of course, the flip side of Taurus can be a little bit stubborn, a little bit slow, and kind of stuck in its ways. And so we want to be aware of that on an emotional level. But I'm feeling this as a very pleasant energy today. The moon is very pleasantly aspected by Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And so it's definitely, we're having some emotional equilibrium today. We're really feeling that ability to expand, that optimism, that sense of being at peace with the lessons we've been learning, with our growth process, with our responsibilities, and how we're showing up in the world. And really, we are feeling there is a sense of empowerment coming through, even though we do still have that Mars square going on to Pluto. It is a day where we want to be aware as far as our communications go. We have Mercury in a square to Chiron still, although that square is breaking apart, so it's a little bit less intense. But we still want to make sure that we're utilizing this aspect of Mercury trining Uranus more than anything else, which is allowing us to communicate from that higher mind, from that higher level. Instead of utilizing our lower mind, we utilize our higher spiritual mind and come up with creative and different types of ways to communicate what it is that we're thinking and feeling today. But to really just be aware and make sure that we're not coming from a wounded place when we are having conversations with others, because that is a risk that we run when we have a difficult opposition with Mercury to Chiron. And so we want to be cognizant of that as we are communicating. We also have Venus in a square to Neptune. It's at 94 degrees, so it's 4 degrees off. It's not quite a perfect square, but there's still a little bit of that energy. And so that's just an energy where we also want to be wary of, because it can be the energy where, with that sense of illusion coming in from Neptune, that can have sort of negative effects. It can be a day where escapism, especially with that moon in Taurus as well, is a thing that may be coming up for some of us. So we want to do that in a healthy way if we're going to do that. Escape by sort of pulling back and doing some self-care today. Utilize that in a positive manner. But it can also be an energy when we're looking at our relationships where we tend to look with a little bit of those rose-colored glasses on. And so we want to make sure that we're not being overly idealistic in our relationships and in our interactions with others today. There's a lot of just little things to be aware of. But overall, I'm feeling this as a pretty pleasant energy today. And then it's always fun when that moon moves into Gemini. That's when we get super social and things can get super fun. And so we have that to look forward to late tonight and then tomorrow and for the next couple days. All right, let's pull some cards here and see what the cards have to say. All right, we're going to pull a couple Work Your Light cards. Clear. What guidance do we have for today from the Work Your Light deck? Definitely a little bit of at least for me, a sleepy energy. We've just finished out the holidays. Hopefully you guys who do celebrate the holidays had a good holiday and were able to really tap into that profound healing energy that we had going on the last couple days and really make some deep connections with your loved ones. All right, so we have the inner temple coming out. Devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. So that's perfect on a heart chakra day to really work on tapping into that heart energy, really becoming in tune with our own hearts, utilizing that as the gateway, connecting us to the collective, right? And to our star family, to our higher selves, to this fifth dimensional consciousness, this Christ consciousness energy that's coming in. Really utilizing that and working with that heart center today and tuning into what it is that our heart is wanting to speak to us. Our hearts have really been speaking to us, and if we're allowing them to guide us and we're allowing them this process, we're opening ourselves up to this process of heart awakening that we have been undergoing throughout this conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. That's a big energy that I have been feeling, that we've been feeling, right? If we're allowing that to open and soften, to really pay attention and allow that to lead us to where it is that we want to go. Where do we find that sense of devotion? And how can we fuel that and feed that and support that? And then we have Keepers of the Earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. And so this is continual confirmation that your ancestors are supporting this journey that you're going through, that we're really, like, they're wanting to open up and connect with us and really provide us guidance right now. I mean, if you look at the symbology on this card, she's praying, and then you can see the moons and then the ancestors and everything, the spirit animals, everything all behind her, right? All of that support. It's like, if you have been praying, this really right now I'm feeling coming through is, if you have been praying, your prayers are being heard. They are being heard. And when you pray, pray with this sense of devotion, right? Really pray with the energy, exude that energy of your heart center as you are praying. And those prayers will carry even more energy with them. You're being heard and you're being supported. If you are feeling alone right now, you are absolutely not alone. That message just really wants to come through strongly. You are not alone. You are so supported. You are so heard. It's just the ways that our prayers are answered sometimes aren't quite the ways we always expect. And sometimes they don't happen in the timeline that we expect. And so it's just understanding that and just really paying attention and being open to what it is that you are being shown, what it is that's happening. If you have prayed about something and changes are happening in your life and you're not understanding because those don't seem like the answer to your prayers, it seems almost contradictory. It's sort of because that's allowing, like, the process that gets us to what it is that we're seeking or what it is that we're needing is not always the process that we think. So just trust that process is sort of like what's coming through right now. Even if it seems harder, even if it seems like things are getting worse, sometimes things have to get worse in order to get better. And then we have Mintalkin. And I've been feeling this energy. This is so funny that this came out. Longing for home belonging, the original light workers. And so a lot of that energy coming in heavy right now. This energy of light workers really feeling this pull and feeling this call. And I think part of what it is because we had this gateway that opened up. And this gateway is actually not really closing. It's like these high dimensional light codes are continuing to come in. This is like, now that this opening has been made, it's there. And so it's going to be a process. And so we may not have experienced anything too dramatic on the 21st. I know for me, it was a little bit of a non-event. It definitely wasn't. That's why I was glad that I didn't have really high expectations of what that was going to look like. But it's like this gradual process as these light codes, these high vibrational frequencies are continuing to come in and continuing to support us. And we're going to continue to evolve as we become more receptive and as we continue to open up to them. Like, there's a process with that as well. And so I feel like if some people have been praying for it and really expecting something dramatic and sort of disappointed because you didn't receive that, just understand that everything's unfolding for you as far as your spiritual gifts and your spiritual journey and your awakening process. It's unfolding exactly how it's meant to for you. So just knowing and trusting that as well. But I think with this energy coming in more and more as we are becoming more connected to the truth of who we are and to these beings from other dimensions, which are us, which are really our brothers and sisters, our kin, right? There's like this sense of this longing for home, this energy of realizing and understanding where we come from, and then really wanting to be there. And especially as sometimes, like, in this physical reality, things aren't unfolding as quickly as we may want them to. Like, a lot of people are like, I want to be in the new earth now. I want this to happen now. Like, why is this taking so long kind of energy, right? And it's like, it's about the journey. That's what we came here for, is to have this journey from one dimension and consciousness into another. And it's a constant shifting and an ebb and flow, right? Everything happens exactly in the timeline that it's meant to. But we may just really, it's like we're wanting that. We're remembering more and more, and we're really wanting to experience that again, right? Because it feels good. Where we come from feels good. And so it's just this understanding and this allowing ourselves to find a sense of belonging here on earth. That is so important right now, for us to feel connected to this experience. Yes, to allow these other connections to continue to open up, but also to allow ourselves to feel connected to this experience and to know and understand that we wanted to be here. and that this is a beautiful experience too. This is the experience that we really, really wanted. And it's so funny, right? When we get what we want, all of a sudden we think we want something else. But we really, really wanted this. So just to allow that and to really make connections, even if it's for right now, just connections remotely. Even if we can't physically be in the same space, like there are plenty of our family, of these light workers, these star seeds, right? Like we're all star seeds, really. But like the ones that are more awakened and more connected, right? They're everywhere. We're everywhere. So connecting however we can and just really like allowing maybe those connections to help us feel more like we belong as well. When we center into that, when we connect with each other here and just really understand that it's totally normal to be homesick, right? Especially when we've gone through so much of our lives feeling like we weren't at home anywhere. And then we start to awaken and it feels like coming home again because we're awakening to the truth of who we are. And so it's like learning how to be at home while we're here. That's what we're being tasked with. That's what we're being asked to do right now. And then we have the initiation coming out, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. We have answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And we have priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? And so a lot of energy about our calling right now. And so this is the next stage in our initiation, right? This is a rite of passion. We are passion, yes, right? Because our passion is being activated. That's our calling. But a rite of passage as well, as we are crossing this threshold out of like the unconscious, which is what I can look at this darkness around here as, is our unconscious nature, into our conscious and aware nature, right? From the old 3D paradigm into the new 5D paradigm, which is actually not new. Like we said, that's home, right? And it's a process. Like you can see how the way is sort of like lighted right here. And it's like steps. These are steps. These are stages. This is a process. This is a journey, right? If we focus too much on the destination, we lose sight of the whole journey. So that's part of the initiation, right? But then like the next phase of our initiation, as we cross that threshold, what allows us to cross that threshold is us answering the call of our soul. So really paying attention to where are we being given opportunities to step up and be the leader, to be the way shower in our own lives. And this is going to be different for everyone, but answering that call, stepping into that, lighting the way, right? Where are we being called to go? What are we being called to do? Really paying attention to that and acting on that, taking action toward that. That is the next phase of initiation as we move through this process. And so as we do that, we step deeper and deeper into this awakening process, into accessing our gifts, accessing our truth, accessing our abilities, accessing our freedom, right? And so we really want to pay attention to that and pay attention to those opportunities that we are being given to step up, to show people a better way, right? To lead people in a direction, in this direction, right? Yeah. What are you being called to do? You know, because it's like that yearning, it's that tug, that gentle tug, right? Our purpose, our calling, it doesn't scream at us. It whispers to us. It nudges us. It knows that eventually we're going to surrender to it and we're going to move toward it because that's what we're meant to do. But it's not going to push us. It's not going to force us. That's that energy of free will, right? We have the free will to answer our calling or not. When we answer our calling, that is when it's sort of like our higher spiritual evolution, our higher spiritual journey is like the phone that's ringing. And so it's like, are we going to hit the fuck you button or are we going to answer the phone? That's the kind of energy. And we can hit that. It's just like an alarm that keeps ringing and ringing. You can keep pressing snooze, or are you going to wake up? Are you going to get out of bed? Are you going to put your feet on the floor and move and begin to move in the world? Right? We can hit snooze as long as we want. We can keep pressing that button as long as we want. But it's going to keep calling and it's going to keep calling. And yes, for many of us, the call will continue to get louder, right? That nudge will turn into more of a poke and maybe eventually a push. But it's always our choice if we want to answer. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. This energy has been coming through very, very heavily. This is what we are still being called to do, right? And that's part of that initiation as well. That's part of answering the call. Part of that call is also telling us what it is that we're ready to release, what it is that's holding us back, what it is that has served its purpose. Once we've learned the lesson, why keep repeating it? Right? We don't need to. If we're repeating it, it's because we haven't really learned it yet. We may be at a deeper phase of learning. We may be integrating that lesson more deeply. But if we're still repeating it, we haven't learned it yet. And we get to decide when we've learned it. And that's, once again, when we take the action to let that go. And if you guys need assistance with this, like I said, my information, my email's in the description box below with a list of, I offer a whole bunch of different services that can be helpful. And reach out to me. We can figure out what would be the most beneficial for you and what it is that you are uniquely dealing with in your process right now. But yeah, it's releasing all of this stuff. Under that, we have Break the Chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. So this is what we're doing right now. This is another part of that initiation, right? This rite of passage is, are we able to release these things, to release these soul contracts, these patterns that we've been carrying with us for lifetimes that are finally ready to be shed, right? Are these past lives, right? This attachment to our past lives. And it's really interesting. I was actually talking about this earlier, is this whole thing of like, as timelines are dissolving and converging, it's like our past lives and our present lives, right? Past, present, it's all an eternal now. And so we won't get into all of that because that's a whole rabbit hole to go down. But, right, like if there was any difference, like that, all of those energies are converging. And so we are becoming more unified in our energy. And so our past lives are becoming our present life. It's all converging together. But that's why it's all the more important for us to release the trauma and the wounding and these old patterns and all of these energies that we've picked up and held on to and become attached to from past lifetimes that aren't serving us. Because it's really coming in more and more significantly and influencing our present life. And so it's really working through and releasing all of that stuff. And as we do that, we're doing that for our ancestors as well. It's not just our own past life patterns and stuff and soul patterns that we're releasing. We also came in specifically born into a certain lineage so that we could heal and release ancestral patterns that are no longer serving. Right? We're in this process right now where we're collecting everything that does work and bringing it with us and releasing everything that doesn't to make room for more things that do. And so it's like we're putting this over here, we're picking this up over here. It's a whole thing, right? And it's really fun and it's really exciting, but it also can be, it's intense, right? This is not easy work that we're doing. It's simple, but it's not easy. And that's why I said, please reach out to me for assistance if you're feeling called to my energy and you're feeling that I may have something to offer to help you with this process, right? And this is a process that I'm going through too. I have people that I work with that are assisting me in doing this. It's like we all assist each other. That's the beauty of it. That's that energy of sharing our collective wisdom and experience. Right? And so like we're all in this process together at different stages. But that's what we're doing. And that's why your ancestors are standing beside you so strongly, because they are here to help you and support you, because the work you're doing is helping and supporting them. Yeah. So these are all aspects of this rite of passage, this initiation that we are going through right now. And let's see, what else do I want to do? Do I want to do anything else to close us out here? Yeah, I'll pull a Lightworkers Oracle. Clear. Any closing guidance from the Lightworkers Oracle? December 26, 2020. Okay. And we have the fourth ray of harmony coming out. And initiation by air. And I always read these rays out of the book because there's a lot of really good information in here. And you can see, I mean, this is when we talk about the devotion, right? And the portal of the heart, is that not a doorway and a portal right in the center of his being, right? He has all of this cosmic knowledge radiating from his third eye, right? Into and from his third eye and from his heart center, right? This is how we connect. And all of these little bubbles of knowledge and wisdom. All of these, look at all of his different faces too, right? So this makes me think of the different timelines converging with all the aspects of ourselves becoming unified as one, which is super cool. Just super cool. And even in this picture, it's like you see all of these doves, or they look like seagulls to me, but that's probably because I live somewhere where that's the most common bird you're going to see. But all of these birds exploding out of the heart center, right? So the fourth ray of harmony says, the fourth ray of harmony comes to you now with the qualities of beauty, harmony, and balance. It empowers you to complete a spiritual initiation. I'm sorry, it just gets me every time how perfect the cards are, right? Any conflict you experience now serves your divine purpose. It will eventually become the fuel you need to be born anew. Something negative will be transformed into something positive. The Archangel Gabriel helps you to receive the blessing of the fourth ray of harmony now. And so that's perfect because that takes us back to the beginning of the reading, I think. I think we were talking a little bit about that, of not seeing and understanding as we're praying and we're asking for solutions, we're asking for guidance. When that starts coming across as chaos, and just understanding that it's serving a higher purpose for us and trusting that. So I love that. When the fourth ray of harmony is active in your life, you are approaching spiritual initiation, which creates a whole new person, a new you. Initiation may begin with feeling torn between two choices or realities. You may wonder if you have what it takes to get through this. You do. As you discover your strength to be patient with the process, rather than trying to force an outcome prematurely, eventually you will outgrow the conflict altogether, emerging as a wiser, more powerful you. You will have gained a positive outcome from what was once considered to be a negative situation. When the fourth ray of harmony becomes stronger in your soul, avoid becoming scattered out of balance or swinging from one extreme to the other in thoughts, actions, and emotions. You will need to keep grounding yourself and being moderate rather than all or nothing in your life choices. This will create your successful outcome more swiftly than trying to force something to happen immediately. Right? When we're finding balance, we tend to swing from one extreme to the other. And it's like a seesaw, right? And eventually that swinging gets less and less intense until we get to that balanced place. And so it's like coming out of these energies, these black and white, left and right, this polarity type consciousness into this more balanced consciousness and understanding. And that grounding aspect coming through very, very heavily lately. Us really needing to ground. As we are integrating all of this energy, right, we're becoming more connected up here. We want to make sure we stay connected to the earth as well, connected to this experience. So this experience can then merge with this experience. Let's see. The challenge and the gift with the fourth ray of harmony is the increased sensitivity to beauty it engenders. Music takes on a whole new emotional depth. The beauty or chaos in your environment, and even the colors you wear, has more impact on you than usual. You can use this increased sensitivity to your advantage by choosing art, music, colors, and so on that feel good for you. Right? What are you consuming? What is around you in your reality? The mainstream is still operating on a fear-based energy. With increased sensitivity, you can at times be more affected by this. If you are experiencing increased negativity, depression, doubt, fear, or emotional instability, this is likely why. You can overcome this without shutting down. When you sense it happening, respond with a loving discipline. You might meditate, journal, dance, create art, listen to music, exercise, have a bath, or a salt bath I would highly recommend, or spend time in nature to bring yourself back to balance. I also will say to clear your energy field. Do energy clearing meditations. Imagine bringing that white light down through each of your chakras, white or rainbow light, right? Through each one of your chakras, through each layer of your aura. Just really imagining that, pulling your aura in sensing where your aura might be and pulling that in until it's about 18 inches from your body. And then going through an energy clearing meditation and really consciously disconnecting from other people's energy as often as possible. That can be really, really helpful. Something that I was taught that I utilize a lot is you hold your hands like this, rub them together, one hand on the heart, one hand like this. This is mine, this is yours. And just imagine yourself disconnecting from energies. This can be really helpful. And then cleanse and clear and go through your energetic field. Right? You can use sound, you can use color, you can use music, meditation, breath work, all these different things to also clear your energy field. But we want to be really getting disciplined at this because we don't want to be connected to all of that collective energy. We want to be connected to the energy of the awakening collective. But even then, the awakening collective, we're going through dark nights of the soul. We're breaking old soul contracts. We're healing ancestral wounds. We're doing a lot of intense work too. So even the awakened collective, like we don't want to stay too tapped into that energy either because there's a lot going on there too. We want to tap into source energy. We want to tap into the purest, most high vibrational version of that energy and really learn what it is to be in our own energy by not allowing ourselves to become too scattered and too connected to outside energies right now. This is why a lot of people, when they go through a phase of their awakening journey, often tend to kind of isolate a little bit. It's because all of that outside stuff can be really overwhelming. And so there's nothing wrong with that. We want like healthy isolation, right? Where we're pulling back to care for ourselves, to nurture ourselves, to balance ourselves out. But then we're also like tempering that with human connection. We want to be connected without being attached, without becoming enmeshed, right? That's the difference. This ray has a special connection to the arts and guides you to create. You are encouraged to trust your own creativity, to enjoy it, and to use it to help heal yourself and perhaps others too. I love that. When Archangel Gabriel enters your life, there will be an emphasis on the use of sound for healing and balance. So the words you use, and this has been coming up a lot too, affirmations, for example, and the invocations in this deck will be very powerful. And this is also your thoughts, your words. They're very powerful. So choose them wisely and choose them lovingly. What are they connected to? Are they connected to a fear vibration or a love and a trust vibration? And that's another way that we can continually bring ourselves and our energy back into balance. Music will be helpful as well. You may use sound to help balance and restore your energy. You'll know when it has worked because you will feel happier and find life simpler. You may not immediately solve an issue, but start doing what you need to take care of yourself, knowing resolution is on the way. So I really like that for us. That's really perfect energy coming through. And then we have the initiation by air energy. And so this says you have and air is Aquarius energy is air energy too, right? So I really like that. You have a strong and powerful mind. The mind can be a great asset. It can bring comfort, peace, and strength as you take your spiritual journey. It can bring comfort, peace, and strength as you take your spiritual journey. It can also be a dark and destructive force, undermining your power, making you doubt your own heart, and keeping you trapped in fear. The mind, developed without a loving spiritual practice, can be a frightening weapon rather than a liberating sword. How will you choose to use your mind power? Yes. And so this is us learning this thing that we've been talking about, right? Learning to let the mind be our servant and not our master. To pay attention when we are getting into those habitual, obsessive thought loops and patterns, right? Those patterns that we're releasing and breaking out of. This is breaking through and releasing old belief systems, which is something that I do. And so please reach out to me if you want assistance with that. But so it's also us being called to find harmony and bring ourselves back into a balance within our minds when they become too chaotic. To use them as a tool, to use them as an asset, and not allow them to become a liability. When we get too caught up in the circus up here, that's when we fall back into that fear mentality. That's when we fall into that, the wounded ego, right? We don't want to be in that place. We want to use our mind wisely and harmoniously, but not allow it to run away with us. And so when we feel our mind running away with us, do any of these things that we've talked about to bring that back into balance as well. Breathing and meditating, especially being helpful. All of this stuff. What can you do to bring your mind as well as your energy back into balance, because your mind affects your energy. So if your mind isn't balanced, your energy cannot be balanced. But you can help to balance one by balancing the other, right? We can help to balance the mind by balancing the energy, because they are that connected. As you enter into this initiation, you will feel the need to step back from what you have been taught and learn to question what you once held to be true. So this is the belief systems, right? This is the cultural programming. This is where we understand the experience of the collective, right? The free will experiences, but we get the free will to choose our own experience and develop our own wisdom and then share that wisdom, kind of how we started out the reading, right? As you disengage from habitual mental patterns, you will begin to observe your thoughts rather than be swept up in them. Soon you will begin to experience yourself as the peaceful, steady light of love that you are in truth. This guy. Will the mind go through its motions? Yes. However, there is no need to be afraid of this. One step at a time, your spirit shall guide your mind back towards peace. You will change the way you relate to your own mind, becoming more empowered. As you soften the strident action of the mind, you will see that you can use your mental gifts wisely, rather than allowing them to cause you pain. Those who have strong mental energies can accomplish much in terms of communication, invention, and creativity, but they often also suffer from destructive self-talk and mental obsessions. They may even be addicted to thinking, which can wear them out and create cravings for sugar that can lead to depression and illness, which is really interesting. Instead, it is much better to regularly take time out from the mind and be in the moment, feeling energized, playful, and at peace. And so creativity is a great way to channel this mental energy and a great way to bring the mental energy back into balance. Your mind is a powerful creature. Tame it with persistence, compassion, kindness, and strength. The more you work at this, the more you notice right away when your mind is becoming out of balance and pull it back into balance, the easier and more natural it becomes to do. Give yourself rest and an opportunity to switch off and empty your mind as regularly as you can. There is no need to judge or despair. This is an advanced initiation and one that is brought to you only when you are ready. Consider it a sign of your spiritual progress. The world will benefit from you as you learn to handle your mental energies more constructively. This oracle is indeed an omen of greater peace and happiness in your imminent future, which I absolutely love. And so I just had this visual in my mind is if you're sitting down to meditate, if you're trying to empty and quiet your mind, you're realizing that it's going crazy. Another thing that you can do, we talked about the reroute button, right? Where you imagine that big red button, press it, that says reroute and reroute your thoughts. But another thing that you can do is I'm imagining myself in a white room and there's a light switch on the wall. And so when I'm ready to shut down my mental processes for a little while and try to relax, slip into meditation, put on some calming music, create something, do whatever I'm doing to bring myself back into balance, I just flip that switch off in my mind. So that's something that you can try as well. And then the orbs of light is just all of the messages coming through, all of the guidance, all of the messages from your spiritual team, all of the knowledge. It's noticing these and seeing these around you as evidence of your angels and your ancestors standing beside you, guiding you, comforting you. So really paying attention to those orbs of life and light and where they are showing up and when they are showing up. And sort of like using that. It's just like with any type of synchronicity. I'm feeling like the orbs of light are a synchronicity for some people watching right now. And so if you have been wondering if this is confirmation for you, it is. But this is also, and I love how you notice once again, it's radiating out of her heart center. So receive this light. This is a message also to receive this light, to receive these activations. Remember, it was wicked funny. So I was sleeping last night and I had this, as I was falling asleep, I kept seeing these orbs of light in my vision. And it was like they were moving and sort of like glowing brighter and brighter. And it was for a second I was like, I don't know about this. But then I remembered a video that I did for you guys where I said something like, go toward the light. Don't be afraid of the light. And so I was like, okay, all right. And so I feel like that was some of that light coming in for me. And so, but it was that moment where I had to be open to receive it. So really being open to receive the light when it's coming in and really paying attention to that and noticing just all of the different ways that light is speaking to you. I'm feeling like light's going to be speaking to people in different ways. I don't really know what that means, but I feel like you're going to know what that means. Just the way that you're noticing the light playing off of certain certain things or certain people, or the patterns that it's making, or the orbs showing up, or there's just lots of different ways that light, we're going to notice light and the different rays of light, and sort of, I think some people are going to be starting to notice and see auras and different things like that. So just lots of interesting stuff with light coming through, and this knowledge and the gift that is, and the confirmation of that is for some of you, that you are on the right path, that you are being guided and loved and supported. So I love that. And then I love the past life activation. We're going to close with that because we've been talking about this. Our past life, those different timelines, all converging together, all these aspects of us, right? Converging into one. And so that really being activated within us, these past life gifts coming online. And yes, there's healing involved with that sometimes. There are sometimes wounds and traumas associated with our past life, with our past lives, with our past life gifts, right? And so when we reclaim those, we have to heal that. And sometimes it's the healing process in and of itself that makes those aspects of us feel safe to come back. And so lots of past life energies that we're working with and dealing with right now, that many of us, and notice again, we've got the doorway with the light coming out. I love this. That's in 2 of the cards that we have here. We got 3 with the light coming out of the chest, 3 of the 4, and 2 of the 4 that have this doorway with the light pouring out. Right, so that's really significant. And the birds too. There's birds in both of these. You see them pouring out of the chest, and then you see right here. So that could be significant. But it's us really connecting to all of these aspects of ourselves and really healing that. I'm feeling some Atlantean energy coming through here. There's Lemurian energy. There's a lot of us really connecting to some of these past lifetimes. And some of the aspects of those lifetimes were traumatic, like things didn't turn out well, right? But there were also lots of beautiful experiences. And so it was, somebody was telling me, and it's wicked funny because she told me at some point, this might come up in my reading. Something about the Atlantean timelines kind of converging and crumbling and coming together, or something like that. And so I think that that's really funny, that that's sort of coming up. So like a lot of stuff coming up around that for people, around just remembering our past lives, being more connected into that, really reclaiming these aspects of ourselves and the power that lies within that. So yeah, I really love that energy as a closeout energy for us. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. I hope that you have an incredible day. If you liked this video, like this video, comment below. Let me know how it's resonating. Let me know how today is going for you. Please reach out to me through email if you would like to book a healing or a reading or any of the things that I do. If you are requiring or wanting any assistance, I would absolutely love to give that to you. I love being able to connect with you guys on that level. There are links down below to donate as well if you feel so moved to donate to my channel. So much love, so much appreciation, so much gratitude, so much beautiful, beautiful. Yes, it's intense energy, but it's also incredible energy. It's all about our perspective. It's all about what we are allowing, how we are accepting, how we are surrendering, how we are allowing, and how we are opening ourselves up, right? So like, keep yourself open. Like, keep yourself shielded and protected, but keep yourself open. Keep loving, keep living, keep growing, keep exploring, right? We're in that, we have that, well, we have Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius right now. So we have that Sagittarian energy coming through in some aspects. We had that eclipse in Sagittarius. And now we're in Capricorn season, right? So it's all about keep growing, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep anchoring that into your life and your experience in real concrete ways. I will talk to you guys soon.